Welcome to Taste Like Tea, a podcast in which I could have sworn I was recording through the microphone on my headphones, but it's actually been my phone microphone the entire time. My name is Theo. Don't call me Ted. I I just figured out how to allow use of my headphone microphone, and it sucks. So now I'm knowingly speaking into the correct microphone. Hello. Hi. Today is another day, I guess. I'm here to jib jab a little bit, I'm gonna talk about some movies. I did decide right before recording what I know I want to talk about. See, this is the thing about knowing that my phone is recording it. Now I'm afraid to put it down. But I'm pretty sure it sounds fine. Because this is kind of where I've been keeping it. But now I'm aware that every one of my leg movements and all that stuff is there. It's just interesting. I don't know why. I had a suspicion during my last recording, but I wasn't sure. And today I decided to test it, and I have been wearing headphones pointlessly for the last X amount of episodes. / I have been pointlessly thinking I've been talking into those headphones. Anyway. I actually decided what I was going to talk about before recording today. Not soon, not long before, mere seconds, but I'm prepared. I was looking at my last week of things I've watched, and as I mentioned last time, I don't necessarily want to permanently stick with the things I've watched, but everything leading up to the double feature I spoke about in my last episode is kind of a decent stack of movies. Some, they range in years and quality. Actually, I kind of rated them all decently high, except for one. But I think it'll give me some stuff to talk about. I think I have at least some stuff to say about two of them. 2 of the 5, 6 that I'm going to try and get through. I might even skip stuff because, I won't skip stuff. I'll do my best. I guess before I do, there's a large group of birds outside my window right now. If you know New Jersey birds, it is a dark bird. It kind of looks like it has a leopard print, mixture of blacks and browns, and a yellow pointed beak. They're cute. I could totally see someone in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie biting its head off and drinking its blood. But before I actually get into it, I scared the birds away with that. Oh, there's another one. Maybe it was the wind. Maybe they said, finally, it's our out. You think birds feel the wind and go, yeah, this will be an easy flight. I can go. You think birds are lazy like that? Jesus Christ. Before I keep not starting, I guess. I have an email. I don't necessarily know what I would expect to come through on that email, but I feel like it would be wrong for me not to have an email to allow people to send stuff in. Plus, I am personally an avid podcast emailer. So I just, I get the reason to have the availability. I also get the reason why people wouldn't. And I considered it, and I don't think I really care, honestly. Emails are very unintrusive, Anyway, the email is anythingbutted@gmail.com. Literally just the words, anything but Ted, at gmail.com. It's It's not the same name as the title of the podcast. It's because that's already been taken, and I'm not going to settle for something vaguely similar, because that's just going to add confusion. I'd rather just have a definitive anything but Ted. And anyway, I say the thing anyway. I still say the don't call me Ted thing. And it is still an active YouTube channel in which I post these podcasts on. So, it's not as far-fetched as it could be. Because I could just put my personal email and just, accept the consequences. But I'm not going to do that. I have like 5 or 6 emails that I've made growing up for various reasons. Some of which are for media accounts like this, and others I made strictly just so that I didn't have to worry about getting emails from porn sites when I tried to sign up for accounts. I don't know if they still do, but at the time they required a credit card just to sign up. They like just to have the account made, which is pretty crazy. But that email is ASDFDSA1234321 I don't have access to it anymore, but if you want to do something with it, that's there. All right, whatever. So what have I watched? Well, let's count, because honestly, I haven't been counting how much I watch in a week. Wow. So this week last week I did 17 movies. Wow. 17. And that's probably because I got that extra double feature in on the Friday. It's probably because I got a double feature at D&D. Which I'm not going to talk about it, but we watched Captain Fagatron Saves the Universe, and wow, did not expect it to be so pro-trans. Not that I think the opposite, but I was expecting the opposite. Anyway, wow, 17 films. That's one more than I did the week before. And none of them are shorts. They're all feature length. Wildwood, New Jersey is kind of a short. It's like, well, it's not a short, but it's 55 minutes, I think. But yeah, so this is like a transition in between months, so I don't know how I'm going to title it. It's probably going to be like 3:30 to 4:2 or whatever. I think that's what 4:3 is what I'm stopping at, if I get that far. But starting on the 30th, what was the 30th? I believe that was a Monday. A Monday. Yeah, so we came home, and I was like, I know what to do. I know what to put on. I've had it ready. My moment's come. My partner didn't specifically request anything. And I didn't say what I wanted to put on, so I slipped in and put on Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. This I'm probably not going to talk about for too much, but I do want to say that I'm a big Scooby-Doo person. I grew up on Scooby-Doo. I think I like the original TV show most, like as an overall, but What's New Scooby-Doo is kind of the better one, like objectively. Actually, no, my favorite show, like series, because there's different eras. If I was going to say adult ones, sure, the older ones, like the 80s and older. Like, I kind of like the laugh track. And I just love that episode with the pirate. I think it's the best pirate episode. I am a pup named Scooby-Doo fan. I'm a big fan of a pup named Scooby-Doo. I don't know exactly why. There's very few episodes. They're all extremely formulaic. Like, I think they're actually meant for younger children than than initially, like, than I would have thought. Like, because Scooby-Doo is kind of an all ages thing. I think they were shooting for younger kids there. I know this isn't about Ghoul School, but I'm getting there. But a pup named Scooby-Doo is kind of an anomaly to me because it's something that was so prominent to me in my existence. But let me look up when it came out, because it came out before I even was born, as far as 1988. Dude, fucking 1988. And it makes a lot of sense of how they got there. You know, like, a pup named Scooby-Doo would not actually... looking back, it doesn't make sense to be made in the early 2000s. But that's just what they did one of those 4 favorites of... Hold on. They have a pup named Scooby-Doo... Oh, sorry. Never mind. That's volumes 1 through 4. Never mind. Yeah, 3 seasons, though. Like, it's... But yeah, it's not that great, really, but I love it. Anyway, Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. One of the best Scooby-Doo things ever, probably. Probably the most... I don't want to say the most complex plot, because I think they get convoluted, which I think is a form of complexity in a way. Although I feel like there probably is a difference there, but there's so many characters, right? And there's no gang, which is one of the big changes. It's one of those Shaggy's wearing his red shirt. He's not on the clock kind of thing. It's just him and Scooby, and because they don't have Freddy or any of the gang to like contribute as to like the plot progression, they have Scrappy-Doo thrown into the mix because, like, he's always wanting to do something. My partner brought up a decent point while we were watching Ghoul School and wondering why Scrappy ended up being so hated. And because he's, like, kind of pretty chill in that one. He's a little bit of, like, a dickhead because he solves all the riddles, and he stops people from having fun. He's like, hey, I want to go do something. I want to stop fucking around. I want to progress the plot. He's a stickler. If that's... I don't actually know what that word means. Tastes Like Tea, the podcast where I use words I don't understand and then admit to it. Because maybe everyone else just isn't admitting to it either. Maybe we just all assume we should know what it is, when really we don't. And I don't even remember what word that was. So, that's cool. Scooby-Doo and a Ghoul School, right. Yeah, I don't know why Scrappy ended up being... And I don't think he's hated by, like, the Scooby-Doo fandom as much as he's hated... Like, in the live-action film, he's plot critically, like, resented towards. And they all kind of mutually hate each other in that film. And I feel like that shouldn't have come out of nowhere. Maybe it was the creators going, like, God, I hated that Scrappy guy always making Scooby and Shaggy stop eating to go solve mysteries that they didn't even want to solve. Who knows? Maybe it was the filmmaker's choice with that. But I feel like somewhere between the 1988 release of Ghoul School, and I think there was a show at some point with Scrappy in it, and maybe somewhere in there he got annoying. But here he's just kind of a fella. He's part of the gang. He makes up the 3 things that are missing from the gang. He's both ditzy dumb. He's both he's inquisitive. Well, he's ditzy and dumb. He's inquisitive. He pays attention, and he also tells Scooby and Shaggy what to do. Those are like the main things that he does. So his presence is basically just to make up for the lack of the rest of the guys. Well, girls and Fred. It's more apparent in the Boo Brothers, which I admittedly will probably not skip over because I do watch that in the same series of film, but that's what I'm saying about how there's so many characters in Ghoul School, and there's so many characters, and there's a lot more like complexity to the plot because it's not a mystery. There's no like monsters really. It's Shaggy going to be a teacher, which is just weird. Just a weird ass concept to begin with, but Scrappy doesn't need to be so naggy in Ghoul School simply because there's so many characters that like you could just pair up anybody together and come up with a good 15-minute bit to fill in any gaps in the film. Like, and then the cast doubles by the second half because then all the girls from the Ghoul School have parents. So like there's a lot to go off of in Ghoul School, and it could have been its own miniseries. It could have an entire season. If they really wanted to, they could make an entire season out of just Shaggy teaching at the Ghoul School, dealing with the stuck-up white guys, and fighting off whatever the fuck her name was, Gamora. I gotta remember that. Someone replied to my comment. That's very nice. Thank you. They could really get a whole season out of this Ghoul School, though. Even if just 1 or 2 episodes had the parents show up. Like, there's so much going on. There's so much that could happen. And they do a lot with it. I mean, like, a lot of shit happens. Most of my memories of that movie is only like the first 20 or 30 minutes with like driving up to the school, meeting all the girls, doing the volleyball stuff. Like, that's not the entire film, like, at all. And then everything after that is kind of just an epilogue for me, but like, at least that's in my memory because the primary memory is them winning the volleyball game. But I like all the ghouls, you know. I can't remember all their names. I brought up to my partner that, because I was curious, so I like the werewolf girl. They do not like the werewolf girl. And it prompted me to ask a question to them, what is your favorite Powerpuff Girl? Because I wonder if there was like a correlation there, since there was very similar character types in that show to the girls in the Ghoul School. I'm basically trying to get at that I was a fan of both Buttercup and the Werewolf Girl, and I was curious if that mentality dragged over into Powerpuff Girls because of the similar character dynamics. So I asked my partner that, and they admitted that Buttercup was their favorite, but due to their family dynamic, they were always defaulted to representing Bubbles. And I don't know what that answer really means. I never had anybody in my life that I went like, oh, these people are so like the other Powerpuff Girls that I relate to, you know, the other so much closer that we might as well just be the Powerpuff. Like, I don't have a connection like that. I can't even off the top of my head think of anybody who would fit into the Powerpuff Girl like design or whatever. My phone was sitting in the sun for the last few minutes. I'm afraid it's going to turn off from being too hot. What was I talking about? There's Scooby-Doo. He's out here solving mystery. Yeah, so it's like the best. It's one of the best Scooby-Doo movies. 88, I think it came out. It was good. It holds up. It's definitely a little... The thing about children... Well, not children TV. Just cartoon that revolve around commercial breaks are always a little repetitive. And maybe that's why I don't remember a lot of the second half of the film, because by that time I was mentally kind of checked out. At least, like as a child, trying to think back of like what I remember of the film versus what I actually remember of it watching it last week. But yeah, that's I don't want to linger on it too much more, because it's obviously good. It's really, I feel like the next one I'm going to talk about is also obviously good, but I never heard of it. So that same night I watched, and I was hoping to build a double feature off of it, as I generally mentioned I like to do, but I didn't. I put on, actually no, this is what happened. I had exactly 90 minutes, and I kind of hate limiting myself by runtime. But sometimes, like, if I know exactly when I need to go to bed, and I know exactly how long it'll take to watch a movie, I'll slip another one in. So, like, I had exactly 90 minutes. If I watched an hour and 45-minute film, it would have been too long. So I put on Night of the Hunter. It is 90 minutes, right? I'm not just hyping this up to... Yeah, it's 93 minutes. Quick and easy. It's 1955 this film came out. While I hit this, just think about that. In 1955. That's pretty fucking old. It's not really that fucking old, but it's pretty fucking old. It's pre-Psycho. And to say something is scary pre-Psycho as a modern audience, not like as a modern audience, because I'm pretty sure if you put yourself into the mentality of someone from 1935, you can probably still get freaked the fuck out by some stuff. And I'm exaggerating. I'm generalizing that everything before 1950 or 1960 struggles to be scary, because clearly I'm wrong, because Night of the Hunter is it's pretty fucking creepy. It's fucked up. It's not something I'd expect from a noir film, a black and white film, or a film from 1955. Like, all of the, like, it goes to show that art exists. I don't know how to word this without it being, without me sounding like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, because I really don't. But, like, I don't even remember what I said. What am I talking about? Why Night... I'm trying to justify why I said that horror isn't scary before 1960. I think I'm off of that. I was wrong to say that. That's dumb. That's an overgeneralization. I literally listened to people who watched movies pre that date, and we're talking about scary shit anyway. Where am I going with this? I'm sorry. I took that hit, and I'm spiraling. So, Night of the Hunter. Let's start with the beginning of the film, I guess, right? Let's set it up. Night of the Hunter starts. I might be wrong about the opening scene, but story-wise, it starts with a man in a police chase. He's running away from the cops. He has a stack of money, and he might have a weapon. Maybe, I don't remember. For some reason, Yeah, a gun. He has a gun. He's holding a gun and a stack of cash, and he's in a police chase, and he's driving dramatically. It's 19. It's actually older because it's a flashback, right? No, it's not a flashback. I'm thinking of Cool World. Jesus Christ. See, it's good that I write things down because I really wouldn't remember it. I need to start doing that for my fucking therapist again because Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. I need to start using my notebooks more, though. Let's be real. I carry them around for a reason. I should use them more. Night of the Hunter. White man, driving home, in a police chase, holding a gun, stack of cash. He gets far enough away from the cops to, like, have some breathing room, but it's not like they've lost him. They still know where he is. Like, they're still chasing him. But he drives home. He goes home. And he meets his kids out in the front lawn. He has a son and a daughter, and they're itty bitty kids. These aren't teenagers. At best, like 12 or 13 years old. For the oldest son, the hero, our hero of the film, is a 13-ish year old boy, and her little 8-year-old sister, something like that, barely can speak, has half a mouth of teeth. It's very unsuspecting main characters. But dad goes home, he rolls up to these kids, and he tells them, he hands them a pile of money and says, hide this and don't tell anybody, not even your mother, where it is, or that I gave this to you. And then I'm pretty sure he gets caught and, like, immediately put to death or something. Like, he's gone from that moment. These children were tasked with hiding this stack of cash from anybody ever, and to just be a secret between those children and the now dead father. Time definitely passes, because I don't think you see him go to prison or anything. I'm pretty sure it just cuts. It can't be that long, though, because the kids don't age that. If they do age, it's not that significantly. Jesus Christ. So a little bit of time passes. These children have hid the money. They're living their life. They have a mother who is struggling, possibly really religious, and she's struggling. She's a single mom in 1955. She may not even work, honestly. She might not even have a job. But she's taking care of these children. And it cuts away to this dude, right? And this dude's actually the reason I watched the film, because on the banner, on, like, Letterboxd, and, like, if you Google the film, it shows a man in like a hat, a large brimmed hat, with love and hate tattooed on his knuckles. That's why I watched the film, or that's why other than the fact that I had 90 minutes, that's why I wanted to watch the films, because I saw this man. It cuts to him driving a car, and he starts talking to God. He's a preacher. And in this film, in the universe of this film, he genuinely can have conversations with God, or at least that's what he portrays as happening. He like declares up to the sky and gets responses, and he has like a sense. I don't think he ever declares that God told him, but maybe that's just kind of how I picked up on it, because he gets like an inkling of an idea that he's like, oh, I have a new... Oh, he's a hitman too, I think, right? He's a hitman that is a preacher that talks to God. He has love and hate tattooed on his knuckles, and he uses it as a metaphor for why he destroys or whatever. And it's really like... It's cool. It's a really cool design, and you want him to be the good guy because he's really fucking cool. But he gets this message, he gets this inkling of an idea that he's needed, and he goes to the town where these children live, and he becomes the town pastor. Does he become the town pastor? He becomes popular. He might be the pastor, he might not. That's interesting. But he becomes like he's like a really well-spoken man. He talks in the voice of God and makes like sweeping declarations that inspire the general public. He's a man of God, and he knows that those children have $10,000, and he needs to find out where it is. Again, it's never, at least I don't think he declares like, oh, God told me that you have $10,000 stuffed right inside you somewhere. But he does know. He knows that they have the money, and because the only people alive are those children that know where it is, they take all of his advances to these children about this money as like playful banter, I guess. Not always, but sometimes. So he pulls up to the town, and he almost immediately domesticates the mom. And I mean, like, when I say domesticates, I literally mean that, because he uses religion to control and subdue her to the point of just silent companionship. Like, she's not even... He convinces her that having sex without the intention of having another child is sinful and selfish and evil, and the urge itself should be casted, off into hell or whatever. Like, it's... He uses the words of religion to control this woman into just doing whatever he says, and basically forcing her to disregard the aggression that he so obviously has towards these children. And maybe it's because it's 1955 and white men aren't a threat yet, to that, like, to the known extent. Maybe it didn't look weird to the average 1955 housewife. I'd hope not, but maybe. But the preacher slowly like closing in on these kids, like badgering them to give up the cash, and not giving them a second alone so that they can't discuss where it is without him possibly being around. It's very much just this man intrudes on these children's lives, and children have no say in the world. They're not taken, no matter how much truth they'll say to you, will never be taken as seriously as a godly spoken man. who I believe people are after him because he's like a known murderer. That I'm not going to get into because I don't really remember. I just know he's known to be have killed in the past. Yeah, he's pushing these kids. He's really being a dickhead. And then it comes to the scene where, so the whole time, obviously he's pressuring, and then he tries to separate the two, because he realizes that the sister is weaker without the support of her brother around. And he tries to get her to openly admit and trick her into saying stuff about the money. She's actually pretty good at it. I think the only problem is that she's not smart enough as like a 6-year-old child to like understand how conversations work, and he's so manipulative with the way he speaks that he can just shut down any bit of comprehension that she brings. It's really scary because, I mean, you know, it's an evil man coming to like steal from children, like, and no one believing it because he's so respected in the community because he speaks to God, which and no one seems to question the tattoos on his knuckles. They kind of love it. Like, wow, this guy loves God. He speaks truth or whatever. So it comes up to the scene, you know, where the sister's playing in the backyard. The brother comes out and talks to her. They're alone for a moment with their backs to the house. And what's happening? The little sister has the money in her hand. She's playing with it. Like, she's ripping the dollars up and doing like paper art with the money. Which, funny enough, I'm pretty sure if I paused and looked, I'm pretty sure I noticed that obviously it's play money. Like, obviously it's movie money, but people love to point out in IMDb movie goofs that you can see that the money is marked as not legal tender, meant for performances or whatever. I remember that being a goof for The Simple Plan, Billy Bob Thornton. We're not talking about that though. So these kids, she's playing with the money. The brother comes out, he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he starts like re-hiding the money. Guess what? Smartest place ever. The kids stuff the money into the girl's doll. And all the girl has to do is be obsessed with the doll, and no one will think anything of it. Meanwhile, there's $10,000 hidden in the thing. Jesus Christ. Mere inches from the preacher's face. It's very intense. It gets very crazy. It doesn't go full slasher mode, but I'm pretty sure it's implied that he killed the mom at some point. Maybe not implied either. I don't even remember that part. I just know that she's gone by the end. She's not in the picture. It's just the kids. And they become like traveling hobos or something. It's a very good film. I did not expect it to be so good. I also realized after watching it that it's a really high rated film, you know, like, it's not an obscure one. A lot of people have seen it. 60,000 reviews. Like, that's... No, never mind. Is it about the same amount as Kubrick's Path of Glory? I'm not going to look. It's really intense, though. I guess in reality it wouldn't even be technically a horror film, but it's threatening like a horror film because it's just so suspenseful and uncomfortable. All right. What do we got next? Oh, I was covering up my microphone. What do we got next? All right. This will be a quick one, I think. Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers. This was the next day. My partner, while we were watching Ghoul School, was like, the only other one I like other than this is the Boo Brothers. And they're like, have you ever seen the Boo Brothers? I'm like, well, actually, I have it already downloaded, ready to go. Because I also like the Boo Brothers. So that's what we watched. We got home from work and I put on Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers. I learned that the Boo Brothers are an original creation for Scooby-Doo. Which is just really weird because they sell it like they're pre-existing characters. Because there's like, I mean, obviously this isn't the same era because the Boo Brothers came out a year before Ghoul School. But they've done a lot of collabs with real people. Even though that's more of like the 2000s era, I feel like I still was convinced. And obviously I think knowing that they're original characters, they're just kind of a mixture of the Casper cousins and the Three Stooges, which the Casper cousins are kind of just a remix of the Three Stooges, so it's kind of just the Three Stooges, which is fine, that's good. It just really confused me because the way it's sold, like, meets the Boo Brothers is like they've pre-existed, but like with Scooby-Doo meets, or Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, like, it's obviously a rehash of Universal monsters, especially once the parents show up and the literal Universal monsters show up. But see, those characters existed already, and then the children are just remixes of that. But the Boo Brothers is just rip-offs, parodies of things. I think there's a difference. I'm pretty sure there's a difference. But anyway, so Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers. It's actually, I mean, I don't think it's my favorite. I definitely like other ones more, like the Vampire Rock and Stephen King one. There's a few. I probably wouldn't hate the John Cena one if I watched it. I'm pretty sure I tried to at some point. Maybe I did. I do remember there being wrestling. Maybe I watched the episode crossover, not the movie. They had like a WWE episode, I think. Or an EC... No, they wouldn't do ECW. Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers. There's like a mystery going on, right? Again, this is another non-The Gang movie. It's Scooby, Shaggy, and Scrappy. And this is the film where... side tangent, I'm sorry. I say film, and I say it all the time. Do animated films count as films? And it's not me discounting the quality of the animation as much as just understanding how animation works, especially older animation. Actually, no, more newer animation, because at that point it's all digital. Like, when do you not call it a film? Like, I speak with film and movie interchangeably, but when I'm typing, I usually stick to the word film. But animation always confuses me. At least with stop motion. It's still like photography. So I get the film aspect. But yeah, like, I don't know. I watched Cars last night, and I think I used the word film, and I don't think I should have. I don't think Cars is a film. Just because it's an animated, computer-generated, like, rendering. There is no film that it could have captured. But then that also raises the question of, like, aren't most Quadra A films, the big budget blockbusters, aren't they all mostly filmed digitally anyway? Which I don't understand why someone would do that. I guess it's cheaper. I do understand why you would do that. But some stuff is just filmed digitally, I guess, versus on film. And then are those technically films, or are they just movies? It's just something I can't fully understand. I feel like there was another tangent that, like, worked along with that tangent, though. Scooby-Doo. I don't really know. It's, yeah, so there's this mystery going on. No, that's what it is. Okay. It's coming back to me. It's coming back. I could have just read my review because I just remembered I said I talked about it in the review, as per reviews are. I just remembered what the plot... There wasn't really a mystery as much as some fuckery going on. Shaggy gets a letter that his uncle died and that he's inheriting his family fortune. And I'm pretty... What is that movie, House on Haunted Hill? Is that movie where they're like, we have to stay a night? Because it's that kind of concept. It's like, you have to stay here to find your fortune because it's hidden throughout the house or something. So Shaggy pulls up to... Where are they in? Tennessee or Kentucky? It was very much like a southern rural setting. Because the additional characters outside of the butler that's in the house are these two like stereotypical redneck hick siblings. The brother has a gun and is just itching to shoot somebody, and he has beef with Shaggy's uncle. And then the sister is wearing like booty shorts and one of those like half-buttoned shirts that you like tie a knot in the middle so it turns into like a flannel bra. She's got that going on. And she's just horny for Shaggy, and Shaggy practices abstinence as God intended, as the preacher would have wanted. I'm sorry. Zoning out. I'm a little tired. Huh. Yeah. A wee bit sleepy. Wish I still had some candy, but I don't. Used it all. Yep. Scooby-Doo and the Boo Brothers, man. I don't know. Yeah, he's trying to get right. Yeah. So there's the Hick siblings. They want to fuck and kill Shaggy. Probably in any of those orders. any order possible, which is just the two, but I'm saying that intentionally. And then the butler is kind of annoyed that he didn't get any of the fortune because he's been their loyal butler for so long or whatever. Classic jealous character type. So he's because he didn't get the thing, get any of the inheritance. He's plotting to steal the money, and in the process, because the money was highly desirable, or well, it's actually jewels. They call them family jewels. You know, just as like a joke, maybe. But Shaggy's uncle makes him go on a scavenger hunt through the grounds, and that's how that's basically the whole movie. Is Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy solving riddles pertaining to like mini I Spy games and like wordplay and stuff that has them do things throughout the house that makes them find the next clue in a scavenger hunt, plus a little bit more treasure. And then it ends. I don't remember what happens to the siblings, but they keep showing up occasionally. And I could have sworn there was a second brother at some point, but I never saw him past when I thought he was introduced, so I guess he doesn't exist. Yeah, and they collect the treasure. At the end, they get sabotaged because some guy was following them the entire time who wanted the treasure too. So then they have to confront each other, and something happens. It's definitely, like I said, not my favorite of the Scooby-Doos. It was a little... I kind of zoned out, kind of like what I'm doing now. Where I'm just kind of, like, out of it, just thinking about it. Oh, God. Alright, well, that's Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers. I'm apparently too tired to keep talking about it. Next is the 1st of April. It's a day of the week, probably. Maybe Wednesday? Maybe, yeah. I think Wednesday. I watched... what's his name? Osgood Perkins' first film... The Blackcoats Daughter. I have officially seen all of Osgood Perkins' films. Director credit, I mean. Not his newest one, obviously. It doesn't even have a poster yet. Who's in it, though? People I never heard of from movies I've never watched. Fantastic. Ew, and Nicole Kidman? That's a shame. Is she in other Osgood Perkins movies? God damn it, I don't want to watch her. Dude, yeah, if you want to get me on a rant, get me talking about fucking... what the hell is her name again now? I don't even remember. Nicole Kidman. Jesus Christ. Get me to talk about her and you got yourself a rant. I promise. But I watched The Blackcoats Daughter. Or apparently it was previously called February? February? Which I understand. I think that's totally a better name. But I totally understand the name Blackcoats Daughter too. It's not as vague as people think it is. So Osgood Perkins is the son of Anthony Perkins. I don't need to tell anybody that. I was probably the last person on earth to find out, next to my friend Melissa, because I was the one that told her. So we were the last two people on the planet to find out. But Osgood Perkins is the son of Anthony Perkins. And he does play child Norman Bates in Psycho 4. Just as a shout out. He's also... Never mind. That's a different kid. That's Stephen King's child. But the Blackcoats Daughter. It's, to be honest, Osgood Perkins, as a filmmaker, I don't think he's made... Other than Longlegs, I don't think I've fallen in love with any of his films. The Monkey was fine. It was chuckle-worthy, but I didn't think it was both amazing or, hilarious. I didn't really... Or, scary or anything. I know it's supposed to be, a horror comedy, but I just didn't... I didn't love it. The Keeper was good, honestly. It's actually a better version of the Blackcoats Daughter. If I was to actually, generalize the two films. If I was to say, out of the two films, what you should watch and why, you should be watching The Keeper, and you should be watching it over the Blackcoats Daughter. Because it's basically doing the same thing. It might not be the same story, but it's doing the same thing. You got a looming presence that's building. You have a reveal that was obvious from the start, which might be intentional, they have this reveal that what's the plot of the Blackcoats Daughter? Maybe I should stop talking about Osgood. The Blackcoats Daughter. God damn it. Two girls are stranded in a Catholic school because their parents didn't pick them up. But then, Satan is in the school and controlling one of the students. And then while that's going on, there's a couple driving up to see their dead daughter's grave. And they pick up a girl who reminds them of the dead daughter. And then at some point the film reveals, and it's not even really a spoiler to say it because it's so obvious. I think it was obvious. It was so obvious I was confused because I was like, there's no way it could be this obvious. The Emma Roberts scenes are taking place 9 years after the school scenes. And the parents going to their dead daughter's grave are going to the daughter that's in the school's grave. And there was, other than me kind of seeing that coming already, I did have a constant struggle of seeing that Rose girl and going, is that Emma Roberts? I can't tell. I thought she was supposed to be blonde in this movie. To then cut over to a guy going, you remind me a lot of my daughter. And I go, oh, that's exactly why it's like that, is because she's supposed to look like this girl, and I fell for it. But it's not really that big of a reveal. It's not hidden throughout the film, but they obviously don't talk about it until the big photo reveal that, oh my god, that's the same girl we've been watching. And even then, my partner figured out way before I did, too. It's not like I was the only one that saw through, even though they would see through it before I would anyway. I am very good at being ignorant at movies. It's kind of a trait of mine. It makes getting analytical a little awkward because I don't know if I can get analytical if I'm openly doing that. Oh. Sorry, I got distracted. A car that looked like a friend of mine pulled up, and it was two older women, I think looking for the vape shop that I'm in the parking lot of. But I'm in the parking lot of an abandoned building that used to be a vape shop. It's crazy. They should really knock down that sign so that people stop thinking there's a vape shop here. I don't even really remember what I was talking about. Osgood Perkins, Blackcoats Daughter. Yeah, so two girls are trapped in a school. There's a lot of slow panning shots of really nice set design. A lot of looming sounds. Probably the best thing about this film is the score. It's probably would make, if watching it in the theater would make the film so much better, just because it's probably so unrelentingly aggressive on your senses. It has a lot of high pitches and deep rumbles and hollow echoes, and it's very spooky in a spiritual way, maybe a gothic way. But that's really where most of the film is it's just kind of, it's doing the thing that John and his Hole did, or whatever that fucking movie was, where they fluffed the movie out with just a bunch of scenes of transitional shots of things in focus. It doesn't make much... What was I talking about? I don't know if I meant to say it doesn't make much sense. Jesus Christ, I am out of it today. The Blackcoats Daughter. Two girls are trapped in a school. The principal's like, you can stay here alone. You'll figure it out. I'm going to go home and ignore you for the rest of the movie. And that's what he does. The girl who plays Sabrina in the Netflix show, I really don't know her name. I don't think I could pronounce it either. Kiernan Shipka. That's such a shame. That's such a shame. I'm so sorry you have that name. Wow. She has like a weird relationship with the principal. Like, she's just like a teacher's pet, but it comes off weird. And I don't fully know how to explain it, because I guess on paper they're kind of just being nice to each other while also being in a principal-student relationship. Or dynamic, maybe, not relationship. And then there's party girl, Rose, who gets stuck with dealing with this teacher's pet and babysitting her while they wait for their parents to come. Turns out she lied that her parents didn't know, blah, blah, blah. She snuck out to go bang a dude. He broke up with her instead. Oh, no, she was like, never mind. It doesn't matter. Her being pregnant barely matters. It's not even a spoiler. I think they openly admit it the first time you see her. Something's burning. Nice. So they're in the school. Rose goes out and parties. She comes back crying. Then they bond. And then Satan has been there the whole time. and he's been telling this girl to kill the other girl. And that's kind of just what happens. There's definitely more, right? I'm obviously skipping over stuff. This is a 90-minute film. There is, like, plots. There's 2 plots going on simultaneously. They converge. It's not a bad movie whatsoever, but it's... I don't know. I didn't care about it enough. I didn't feel like, okay, here we go. When details started to unravel, it was more like, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. It's not a very... I didn't love it. And I can be super judgmental about it constantly if I really wanted to. It's not that bad of a film, though. Like I said, the sound design is really good. I really liked... I think that's actually kind of it. The sound design is really good. The cinematography is decent. It's made well, If this was... From what I heard a clip of John Waters saying that if you have to compliment the cinematography first, it's a bad film. So, take that the way that is. I think it's worth something. It's an above average film because it looks and sounds great. Everything else did not interest me whatsoever. I found all the performances to be really disappointing, except maybe Emma Roberts. Emma Roberts normally does like bitchy, loud roles, and this time she was very quiet and suppressed, which worked. But everyone else was also quiet and suppressed. It was just the energy of the film was very, like, everybody watches Annabelle all the time. The Shipka girl, I think she was like 16 when this film was made, so that's super cool. She's mega young in this, and that's really interesting because I feel like I don't normally see actresses, except actually Emma Roberts. Emma Roberts is one of those exceptions of actresses that kind of like got famous in the teenager era, if this counts as being famous for Shipka. But it's weird, yeah. Normally, like 16-year-olds are played by like 19-year-olds or like 18-year-olds. But Emma Roberts is definitely one of the few other girls that I've seen play her actual age on screen. Like even in that Lyme's disease film with Alec Baldwin, I'm pretty sure she was like a few months underage for that film, which was a reason I didn't love it. Is like you watched her have sex for the first time even though she was underage, and it wasn't like graphic, it was just intense. Yeah, Blackcoats Daughter, acceptable. I have friends on here that loved it. I have 5-star, 4-star friends here. I have... Yeah, like, people do like it. I am not one of those people. But I do appreciate the things I did enjoy out of it. Now, next, this might be the end piece, honestly. I don't think I'm getting to the other two. But I got Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. So, this isn't... I'm not going to try and get to it too much, because as I started saying that sentence, I realized it could be an episode idea. But I have been watching Michael Bay's films in release order throughout, like, the last year or so. I've been doing it slowly. I haven't been binging his films. I've noticed that it's very exhausting and kind of annoying to stick to like a single director or actor to try and like... So I spread them out a little bit, and I kind of just find time to watch them. Plus, my partner doesn't love Michael Bay films, especially the Transformers ones, so I'm trying to keep those as far away as possible. But I got to watch Transformers Revenge of the Fallen last week. It's a massive step up from the first Transformers film. I know the first film is supposed to be very introductory, and it justifies the first hour of the film being kind of uneventful. But this film jumps right in. It goes right in, right off the rip. You get a monologue from Optimus Prime about humanity being like the symbol of hope, and whatever else they fucking talked about, he talks about. And then it immediately goes into a massive chase. And not a car chase, a robot chase. Doing car stuff. And it's just a high speed, high action. And then, after that, we're less than 2, 3, maybe 5 minutes max. Because I don't remember how long that monologue was. But very short into the film. Then we cut again into... So that chase was kind of showing the Autobots versus the Decepticons, and how they've kind of been in a super intense non-stop battle of high velocity chases and intense battles of explosions and bullets and stuff. But then it cuts to Megan Fox straddled onto a motorcycle, showing a slightly too much, a slightly uncomfortable amount of ass cheek out of frilled denim shorts. I don't know. I think they're supposed to be 18 by now, so I guess either way it doesn't matter. But these are still... It doesn't matter. It's a Michael Bay film. It's kind of what I'm getting at. It doesn't matter the age of the women. It doesn't matter the age of the characters. He will find a way to make the sexy actress look sexy. He loves looking at legs. He loves a butt. He loves an upskirt. And we get a lot of that. Not just from Megan Fox, but just the entire film. Not the entire film, but anytime girls are on screen, you got one of those three things. I'm pretty sure the first line out of Megan Fox's mouth is, "I'm breaking up with you." And that's kind of the whole theme of her character, is she loves him but hates the life that he dragged her into. Because she just doesn't like the stress of being, the girlfriend of the man who saved the world against alien robots, trying to destroy it, and then always on call with the FBI or something. So, Megan Fox is trying to break up with Sam, Shia LaBeouf. And Shia LaBeouf is going to college. For not very long. It barely happens. He makes it to one class where Dwight from The Office tells him to get out because he has a seizure in the middle of a discussion, or whatever you want to call that. Yeah, so Sam is going to college. The parents are the best human characters in the whole film. The dad is kind of gross and annoying, but I think the mom is hilarious. I think she's the funniest thing in the series, and it's a shame that she gets the ditzy woman role, but she's really funny. She's like the overprotective mother crying and refusing to not unhug her child to let him go to college, and yelling at him to come home for every holiday, and just being one of those kinds of mothers. And she's funny. She's really good at it. She's a silly and admittedly very beautiful woman. There's some weird sex joke that happens with the husband, where after she calms down from her son leaving, he's like, "Oh, we're gonna fuck all the time, everywhere, your bedroom, on the counter, it's gonna be great." And then he like smacks her ass, and it's more Michael Bay stuff, you know. It's what you expect from men and women being on screen together. Right, and then what else happens? Bumblebee like breaks the house again because of sneezing or something. That's not what happens. I'm just being a dickhead. Yeah, he goes to college. His mom's sad about it. His dad can't wait to get him out of the house. Classic white people, suburban family stuff. You know, like, "Oh, I raised you for 18 years and I get the fuck out of here," kind of mentality. But then like, "Oh, I raised that child. I want us to keep him forever. He mine. He a baby." Yeah. The dichotomy of men and women in relationships and how to treat children. That's the definitive grouping right there. So Sam goes to school. Right before he does, he touches a shard of that rock from the first film, the cube, and it gives him brainwashed like code in his head. He basically becomes Mason from Black Ops 1, where he's just seeing numbers I guess Mason in general, I don't think he ever stops seeing the numbers. I think in Black Ops 2 he sees the numbers. I don't think Black Ops 3 had a multiplayer. No, or single player. It did. It was bad. I didn't play any campaigns after that, though, I don't think. But yeah, he sees symbols, like Mason sees the numbers. They're like projected onto surfaces, but they're not actually there. He can only see them, but they won't go away until he acknowledges them. But every time he acknowledges them, he like goes into a fit. Yeah, so then he goes to class, you know. Before he goes to class, actually, he meets his dorm roommate, and it's some computer nerd that's obsessed with there being alien robots, and he's like, "Oh shit, I can't be talking to a guy that thinks there's alien robots. I have to be, you know, down low. I gotta be chillaxing." So he meets them, he goes to class. Dwight is his teacher. He ends up accidentally reading the entire 900-page astronomy book that he bought for probably way too much money. And then had like a breakdown in class, which was hilarious. It's his like seeing the numbers moment is probably the best acting that Shia LaBeouf has ever done in a Transformers film. I won't say ever because I haven't seen Padre Pio, and for some reason I have a feeling it's going to be decent. It's going to be so bad, but I feel like it's not going to be that bad. But yeah, I think Shia LaBeouf does a great job being that fucking goof that just can't stop jib-jabbing about numbers and symbols and shit and talking about the Illuminati. It's great. He doesn't do any of that, but he starts writing on the chalkboard in weird symbols, talking about how Einstein is wrong, And he may be proving his, I don't know, but he may be proving his teacher wrong, but I can't tell you because I never read a 900-page astronomy book. So I don't know exactly what would make, and plus I don't know what the symbols say, so there's that, like how do you do symbols if you don't know what the symbols mean? Transformers is such a long movie. I heard that Michael Bay was not forced. He intentionally has longer Transformer movies so that they can get extra commercial breaks in during TV airs. I can only imagine how long it takes to get through a Transformers movie on live TV. You gotta get through 2.5 hours plus a 3-minute break every 15 minutes or 11 minutes or something like that. I think it's every 11 minutes. Because normal TV shows are 22 minutes to 23 minutes. Yeah. I'm good at numbers sometimes. But I don't know how to prove Einstein wrong. Apparently Shia LaBeouf does. And then he goes home. Not like home to his parents' house. He goes back to his dorm. And this like horny chick is trying to find Shia LaBeouf. They go into his dorm room, and he's just got all those symbols written on the wall. And that's actually where the trailer is. I remember the bit in the trailer where he's like, "It's all right. It's okay. I had symbols in my head. They're on the wall. They're gone now. We're good." He's just like pointing to symbols and like yammering away about the most like unintelligible stuff in the most confident way possible. It's good. It's so funny. I really enjoy Shia LaBeouf being Mason from Black Ops. And there was a Bad Boys 2 poster in the dorm room just to like make note of Michael Bay acknowledging himself. At least he knows that that's his best film. Well, not his best film. One of his best films. His most gory film. In that case, his best film. But I think I still like The Rock. I'm pretty sure The Rock is better. I'll need to rewatch everything now once I'm done going through Michael Bay. But which I love what I found out about Michael Bay. And I'm only saying what I found out. I observed. I love what I observed about Michael Bay. And I cannot wait to finish talking about, or finish watching all of his films so that I can talk about it. Because it's, oh man, it's going to be a good time. I'll just say, Michael Bay was professionally castrated, and I love saying those exact words because I think it's a perfect way of describing something in a way that I don't know, I came up with. What the fuck am I talking about? Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. I like the Transformers films because I like revisionist history fiction. I love when someone finds a plot hole in history and fills it with the most like ridiculous bullshit ever. National Treasure is a personal favorite of mine for that exact reason of like, holy shit, did you know that if you rub lemon juice on the like it's that level of just like, it's almost real. It's so close to sounding real that it could be. I've never seen the Da Vinci Code. I've never read the book. So, I mean, I think that does the same thing. There's, like, some code in the Mona Lisa or some shit like that. And the Transformers movies do it constantly. Like almost everything about the Transformers films is that they're rewriting history. They're taking all the holes of people's knowledge of what the U.S. government has done in the past, or like what happened in the world, and twists it into, oh, that's because the Transformers exist. And it almost adds a layer of like, have I just not found the Transformers yet? You know, like is it genuinely possible that there is a beaten up old Camaro in a junkyard somewhere that is fuck, I don't know what I was saying. I got distracted. I think I heard someone walking. It scared me. I'm such an asshole with that. I need to just stop paying attention. Revisionist history. Yeah, that's the whole thing with Transformers. Is like, I can't actually remember what the first one's revisionist history is. I think it had something to do with Area 51, maybe? I don't know. The second one, though, has to do with the fucking pyramids. And not just the pyramids, but also a stealth bomber from World War II. Or actually, is that a World War II? Actually, no, I think that's a modern thing. Like 90s-ish. I don't know when that thing is. The stealth bomber plane. I think that's what those are. But yeah, turns out one of the planes in the flight museum in Washington, D.C. is actually a Transformer. And he just lies dormant waiting for the right code to hit his brain so he can wake back up and contribute. And, you know, in the future they talk about the moon landing. What did the first one do? What did the first one do that was revisionist history? Was it just... the fuck? It's about the cube. I'm not going to get into it. I don't think I care enough. How do I end talking about the Transformers, though? Because I'm not trying to get into a Michael Bay rant, right? You know, I barely got through the plot. The pyramids, yeah. I mean, revisionist history is really awesome. It's just and it leans into conspiracy theories, which are fun. I know somebody who goes overboard with conspiracy theories and believes every single one of them, to the point where he told me I shouldn't wear a shirt with a slice of pizza on it because it represented porn, child porn, which obviously, no. I like pizza, and it was a joke about how I like to eat pizza. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. This is a pretty fucked episode. But Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. It's long. It's action-packed. It's super gruesome. This film is fucking gruesome. You see... and granted, it's robots, but you see jaws being ripped open. You see skulls exploding. Like, the only thing that makes this not rated R is that it's a robot it's happening to. This is some serious violence being done. And it's really cool. But it's also just really shocking. I like how it ends. If I can remember how it ends, I remember not hating it. There's like that big suction cup, that big vacuum monster that's made out of construction equipment. Yeah, that is another thing about this film. And I mean, the first one is also, but like, you know, there's a reason that video of CGI has never been better than this, and it's the clip of from this film where the little beads turn into a fucking blade robot, because it's just so intricate and precise and detailed, and It's 2011? Like, it's not even 2009. That's pretty fucking old, man. That's what, 17 years ago? That's crazy. And I have to worry about, like, is the blood gonna look okay in Frankenstein? Which it didn't. It didn't look okay. It looked like fucking syrup. Fucking computer-generated syrup. But, like, I don't know if it's Michael Bay or the money or the care or if it was the lack of technology allowing creativity to do things that made things seem better than they really were. I don't know what it is. But I unfortunately am in that stage of, like, CGI has only gotten worse. Not exclusively, but in a general sense. If you're gonna use it, you know, like what everyone says, you know, I hate saying it because I heard 3 different people say it on 3 different episodes of 3 different podcasts just in this week. Of, like, if you're not going to make the CGI look good, don't use CGI. But that's really genuinely what it is. And that's what this film excels at, CGI. And it does it with the itty bitty robots, which, you know, SpongeBob is in this, by the way, and you hear him, I'm pretty sure you hear him say fuck. If not, he says bitches a couple times, and he humps Megan Fox. And she says, at least he's loyal. I was all over the place with this. I'm stopping there, though. That's it. I did watch a few more films leading up to the double feature I spoke about, but I'm not too interested in talking about them at the moment. And it's time to go. Plus, obviously, I'm fucking too beat to just keep talking. I'm falling asleep just trying to say words, and I'm pretty sure I mumbled half the things that I spoke today. So, I mean, I'm sorry for whatever it's worth. Anything but ted@gmail.com if you want to contact me. Theo Carosa or anything but Ted on Letterboxd. And yeah, I mean that's kind of it. I eagerly await finishing my Michael Bay watch through so I can talk about him, because that sounds like a really fun episode, and I need to think of more themed episodes because I can get pretty lost in these what I watched. Just belting out movie after movie, trying to discuss them by myself, just at nobody. It's it's not obviously I'm doing it, and it doesn't matter if I do it badly or not. In time, I'll hypothetically get better at it, because that's kind of how doing things over time works. But the you know, I kind of liked how I was able to spend 35 minutes talking about, although I still felt rushed for my double feature episode yesterday, or last episode, but I think it gives me a lot more room to, like, talk about specific things instead of just kind of stumbling my way through trying to remember 4 to 8 films plots. It's a little crazy, I get it. So you know, I'll see what I can do. In the meantime, that's it. This is a podcast that exists for me, by me, to me, and for me. You just happen to also listen because it's on the internet. Goodbye.